Good day, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior. We're back in the cute kitchen with another What's for Dinner. And tonight it is Campbell's Skillet Creamy Parmesan Chicken. And this is just one of the little helpers I have in my kitchen to get dinner ready. Now, I just took these 6 chicken thighs in this little bucket. And I took those out of the freezer. So obviously it's not a meal in a bag. It's a meal from the freezer. And this I do carry over in my pantry, in my working pantry, with a bunch of other meal starters that will be seen in the next few weeks. But I'm now going to pour this creamy Parmesan chicken marinade, I guess, over the chicken and let it sit overnight in the fridge, covered, of course. And then we'll have that tomorrow. And you'll see that. Alright. The side we're going to have with that is a cream of mushroom soup. Cream of mushroom cheesy rice. There we go. Now this is actually inspired by a recipe that I got from Wicked Prepared. But we're not going to make ours into a soup. We're going to make ours into a creamy rice dish. And then for dessert, we're going to make a simple German chocolate cherry crunch. Alright, let's get on it. I'll see you in a second. Alright, we are now ready to make our Campbell's skillet. So, this has been marinating overnight in the creamy Parmesan chicken. It does have directions for a skillet. However, I do not have a skillet that is big enough at the moment to cook this in. So we're going to do it in our oven on 400 degrees and let it cook that way. Yes, it takes a little longer, but it's okay. Oh, yay, ice cream. Nah, it's just chicken. Now, as you can see, the creamy Parmesan chicken sauce is very thick. So I like to use, I've already marinated it overnight. That's just blood from the, raw chicken. That happens. I like to use about 1/3 cup of water to make the sauce a little thinner so that we can have a sauce in with our chicken cooking. Alright, so yeah, I know that looks really gross, but trust me, it works. Alright, now to pull it out with the tongs, put it into this will be greased in just a second, and get all that lovely sauce out of there. Alright, now we're going to take it and spread it around a little after you get most of your sauce out of your marinating container, which we've done. Alright, now to cover it with the aluminum foil, which has been used on 3 different recipes, and then we clean it with our good Melaleuca dish soap, and I spray it down with my Soluguard, let it sit for 10 minutes and wipe that off, and then rinse it again, and then we just reuse it because I've got the heavy duty stuff and it's good stuff and I don't want to waste it. Alright, now into the oven it goes for approximately, it's on 400 degrees, and we're going to give it about 30 minutes, and then we'll check it. Alright, so we have our beautiful 2 cups of rice, and I actually boiled that in the broth from the other day with the chicken I made, and it is absolutely magnificent. And we have our beautifully golden creamy garlic Parmesan chicken, and we're going to put that in there, and that was 400 degrees for 35 minutes covered and an additional 20 minutes uncovered. And now we have creamy garlic chicken and sticky rice, and that is what's for dinner. Good day, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior. We are back in the cute kitchen with another What's for Dinner. This is our Sunday prep. So, what I've got here are some sweet potato fries that were in my freezer. And, of course, we have to have breakfast for the girls for the week. These are some of our sausages. Some more of our sausages. I put them on a paper or on a regular plate with paper towels in between them because my girls do not like greasy food. It does not like them either. So, we just fry them. Well, we cooked them up. These are already pre-cooked. We just like to brown ours up in the oven on 425 for about 5 minutes on each side. And that's what the girls like. And we were going to make homemade biscuits, but then I found the Great Value family size bag of biscuits still in the freezer, so I went ahead and used that. And no breakfast sandwich would be complete without the cheese to hold it together. Alright, I'll be making these up and I'll see you in a minute. We also have some fish fillets already cut up into bite-sized pieces because sometimes the girls like them on the tortillas, sometimes they like them on salads, and sometimes they just like them with a little tartar. So, now we are on to making our cheesy macaroni, and it's going to be made with curly mac. Those are nice, thick noodles. It does take a little longer to cook this. It is high in protein, high in fiber. Brahmi protein pasta. Made with Italian wheat and lupini super beans. Alright, we'll see how this goes. So, the Brahmi has less carbohydrates. What makes the sauce in my usual mac and cheese thicken? The carbohydrates and starch. So, we have macaroni and cheese soup. Same sauce I always do, and it just didn't work because I use the pasta water to make it thicken and nice and creamy, and it didn't happen this time because there's less starch and carbohydrates, more protein. So now we know it's salvageable. It doesn't taste bad. It just looks kind of weird in the bowl, and if you scoop it out like this, it's perfectly okay. And my Maggie said it tastes good, so that's all that matters. Alright, well, lessons learned. Next time I'll do it a little differently. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, and we are back with some of our weekly meal prep, and this is our weekly goulash. I accidentally grabbed 2 different types of pasta this time. I grabbed 1 box of my Kaizen ziti and then 1 of the fusilli, but I do not have any meat in this goulash because it's got 20 grams of protein in the fusilli and 20 grams of protein in the ziti. So, and we're adding even more with a cup of shredded cheese that I just shredded. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And the sauce, I make ahead and freeze nice and flat in my little freezer. And then once it's frozen flat, I stick it into my big stand-up freezer for meal prep. I'll leave the videos or maybe the recipes down below for each item. Well, just, you know, the goulash, what I call my goulash sauce, because it is a little spicier than my regular sauce. And now it's ready. We just got to cool it off overnight. I'm just going to leave it in the pan with a lid on it in the fridge. And then in the morning, after it's cooled off, we'll put it into the containers. Alright, and that is the end of this week's meal prep. What's for dinner? And I'll see you next week or in the next few days. Bye.